Officially, on behalf of AULO and Dr. Elisha Atai, I thank you for accepting our invitation to our virtual panel and representation in public office, building the bridges for women
across the globe. We must begin to talk about the change of that social construct that needs to begin in the home. So boys can wash dishes, boys can cook, boys can clean as good as any girl. And if we turn the roles around a little bit and let the girls now start to aspire to be the biggest and the best of whatever their dreams can take them to be, then they know that anyone can be anyone.
Descriptive representation is a situation where we are just putting women in certain positions as a way to appeal to the electorate. And we have substantive representation, which is what we should be aiming for in our countries, in all public offices.
When they are empowered knowledge-wise, then they will build the confidence to face their tomorrow, to face whatever challenge come their way. And so empowerment educationally they need. And so these are the challenges we have around. But I trust, because we are sounding this every day, we are sensitizing the people, calling for meetings here and there, and so the consciousness of our problem is now brought closer to us, and so we are going to be able to fight it. But above all, we have to be empowered knowledge-wise.
It's very important to always find on your team the people who are the most intelligent and the most intuitive, who can also work together as a group and go forward in that way.
Khadijatu is the founder of Broken Chains Ministry, a women's empowerment organization. She's also the vice president of Yahweh's organization based in her country of origin.
Officially, on behalf of AULO and Dr. Elisha Atai, I thank you for accepting our invitation to our virtual panel and representation in public office, building the bridges for women holding on this fine Sunday. I hope you all are doing well. I hope you're all safe where you are during this COVID times. How important it is for us to get together as women and discuss this important topic about how we can be represented in our communities, in our countries, in our cultures, in whatever it is, whatever sectors that we find ourselves. Our perspectives for tonight. The African woman is significantly underrepresented at all levels of government, with in compliance for policy and political engagement of minority population. However, as the diversity of the African population grows, the representation of women of color is trending upward. We are here tonight to offer ideas and resources in making sure that we women, our women, both now and our young generations, are represented well in any capacity of life. So with no further ado, I am going to introduce our first speaker for tonight. Our first speaker for tonight is Dr. Justin.
AULO for the invitation. It's an honor to be here among phenomenal women to discuss the issues of female representation in public offices. There is a worrying mismatch, a disconnect in issues regarding gender representation or women representation in public administration. In spite of the issue being part of the Sustainable Development Goal number 5 on gender equality, two types of representation that I just want to highlight briefly. Number one is the descriptive representation. Descriptive representation is a situation where we are just putting women in certain positions as a way to appeal to the electorate. And we have substantive representation, which is what we should be aiming for in our countries, in all public offices. And my main point is reframing the social construct of gender and getting people to understand the difference between gender roles and sex roles. And if we manage to reshape that through advocacy work, through the emancipatory work, we will be able to address the widening mismatch, the widening gap of gender inequality in public administration.
One of the strengths of women worldwide is that we are in the majority. We are the creators of the other humans, and often we are unaware of our power. And so I think if I were to have the opportunity to be in such a strong role, I would start with educating not only my team, because no one can come to the top of anything without a team that is capable and willing to work together as a group, but that recognizes that as the most powerful on the planet, that our job is to lead, but to lead with compassion and with empathy, and yet to be very firm. So I think it's very important to always find on your team the people who are the most intelligent and the most intuitive, who can also work together as a group and go forward in that way. And the most important thing to take out of the whole equation is the ego. The thinking that you are important for importance sake. So that would be my way of looking at it if I were in such a situation.
If all of us believe that God is the creator of all things and that he has made everything good in his time, then we should agree that the female and the male roles are complementary. We must accept it as that. And I don't think women want to step ahead or to keep behind or to be under the feet of a man. They just want to walk side by side so that the best that both can bring to the table comes to bear on the children and the family and the community. Howbeit, I want to say clearly that as we speak to young women such as yourself and other young women across the globe, we must begin to talk about the change of that social construct that needs to begin in the home. So boys can wash dishes, boys can cook, boys can clean as good as any girl. And if we turn the roles around a little bit and let the girls now start to aspire to be the biggest and the best of whatever their dreams can take them to be, then they know that anyone can be anyone. But it takes a while before we start to talk to our daughters and say anybody can be what they want to be. But she goes home every day and girls see and live what they see people do. Unlike boys who can learn on the go, women have to see the examples. So we see the examples, we grew up with those examples. So we are inhibited automatically as we step up into the stage. And it's okay to be a deputy, and you'll get that job and you'll be satisfied. And when someone says, well, come up a notch up, and then you start to think, am I qualified? Am I able? Then you look at yourself in all of those negative lights that somehow close the door and doesn't allow you to move forward. So as we deal with the issues of women being represented in all stages, the most fundamental stage is what we do at the family unit. And I think that needs to change as we move forward.
As the first lady and the mother of a state, a mother of a family, so much is expected. So much challenges are there because in Africa where we are, poverty, we know, is in the increase, high rising. And everyone around there look up to you for help. Your responsibility is so enormous that everyone, not just your immediate, out there, everyone look out for you. And you see, right now in Nigeria, the first ladies of the Federation are fighting this joint cause of gender-based violence, and rape is the focus. When they are empowered knowledge-wise, then they will build the confidence to face their tomorrow, to face whatever challenge come their way. And so empowerment educationally they need. And so these are the challenges we have around. But I trust, because we are sounding this every day. We are sensitizing the people, calling for meetings here and there, and so the consciousness of our problem is now brought closer to us, and so we are going to be able to fight it. But above all, we have to be empowered knowledge-wise.
Women must move to the next level. Nothing's going to stop us. AULO is here to change lives, and we must change. I know one thing that everybody knows, that this world will be nothing without women. You've heard that from the vice president severally. I'm just repeating that without women. So we need to get that right. And we are here to give you the voice. We're here to do everything possible to change the narrative.
Good evening. My name is Toluwani Akahome. I'm representing AULO here in Ireland. My question actually is in relation to public representation and the role of sponsorship. But why are we thinking of stepping it up and actually going to sponsoring other women into these public offices? And how best can we do that as women? Thank you.
Thank you. I think that question is directed to Dr. Justin. If you could please answer that.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to comment on what Madam Beatrice pointed out on the roles of women in public offices. And I'll mention two important roles that are fundamental at this point in time. Number one is the identity creating role. When women are in leadership positions, they assume public offices, they need now to redefine the identity of a woman.
So my question would be, we're gathered tonight. What can we actually do? What are the practical things we can do? It's okay to be invited to the table. How do we go about making decisions? How do we go about opening doors and creating sustainability models that ensures that the traction towards achieving what Dr. Justin called the Sustainable Development Goals number 5 in terms of gender equality. And I like some of the deconstruction points that he raised in terms of looking at deconstructing our current educational system. But when you deconstruct it, now you need to consider what do you put into it. And when you want to put something into it, who are going to be the people around the table to have that discussion? I like the fact that he talked about political leadership and the current political culture. I like the fact of the contributions every eminent personality has made in terms of the issues are fundamental and germane to the home, because the home is where it all starts. So we already have an educational system. What we need to do, again, to use perhaps what Khadija said, reframing. We need to reframe our educational system. I call it, we need to decolonize the current educational system to make it a little bit more agile and a little bit more realistic to the needs that we are seeking to address.
Thank you very much, Dr. Atai. Once and for all, we are coming to the end of this great session. It has been a wonderful session, and I must take our time to say thank you to Her Excellencies. Thank you to Dr. Justin. Thank you to the ambassador's wife, all the way from Rwanda. Thanks to all the participants, all the members of AULO, my presidents, my vice presidents, and presidents of youth and coordinators. Thank you very much. Your presence here was highly valued. If you do not learn, how do we take things out there to create the change that we are desiring, or the change that we want? I want to tell us, once again, we should not forget, it's not about what we have learned. It's not about the skills, the soft skills that we are taking in. It's not about the knowledge that has been transferred. It's about how ready we are to implement the little ones that we have gotten, either from today or what we've been doing previously. Always be ready to implement whatever you learn. Don't wait until you know everything. Start with what you have. Implementation is what brings about the change in what we are looking for, the work that we are doing as an organization. It is when you implement in your little communities, in your little corners, in your little forums, that we create the change that we desire. So thank you very much.